Welcome to Dr. P.C. Verma Economics class, YouTube class for those who are appearing for competitive examinations like UPSC, IES, BPSC, RBI, and other state civil service examinations. Everywhere, one question is sure from inflation. As in previous class, I have stated that there are more than 20 types of inflation prevailing in the country. Few days back, I have taken a class for food inflation and other inflation in the economy. Today, I am discussing wage push inflation. Wage push inflation is an overall rise in the cost of goods and services that results from a rise in wages. We all know that employers are very much conscious about the wage rate. Employers must increase the prices they charge for goods and services to maintain corporate profit after increase in employees' pay. The overall increased cost of goods and services has a circular effect on the wage increase. Higher wages will eventually have to compensate for the increased prices of consumer goods and services in the market overall increase. Wages and salary in the US increased by 0.8% during 1 year, ending the September 2023. In our country also, after a gap of a few years, there is a change in the salary of the workers or employees working under government. In private sector also, there is a tendency to increase wages on the basis of your efficiency and productivity and performance of the company. We all know that companies can increase wages for several reasons. The most common is an increase in the minimum wage. We all know that in every country there is a minimum wage. In India, there is also minimum wage. In America, there is minimum wage. In Canada, there is a minimum wage. And strictly it is followed by the government. The federal and state governments have the power to increase minimum wages on the basis of market fluctuations of the price and prices spiral in the country. Consumer goods companies are also known for making incremental wage increases for their workers. These minimum wage increases are a leading factor for wage push inflation. It is highly prevalent with consumer goods companies, especially. Its effect is a function of the percentage increase in wages. If you go to work under any industry, then every year on the basis of your performance, there may be increase in your wage. Wage push inflation is an overall rise in the cost of goods and services that results from a rise in wages. Employers must increase the prices they charge for goods and services to maintain corporate profit, because corporates are very much interested in profit. Even after distributing dividend to the shareholders, they keep some portion as undistributed profit under the cap of depreciation fund. That amount of profit dividend will be kept in the firm itself as a future capital growth of the company for the betterment of the company. So in every way, workers' real income, workers' desirable income is less than what is supplied by the employers. What is the features of wage push inflation? Wage push inflation is an overall rise in, in the cost of goods that results from the rise in the wages. Employers must increase the prices they charge for the goods and services they provide to maintain profit after increase in the wages. The increase in wages and the resulting increase in prices create a circular effect on wages. Higher wages are then necessary to compensate for the increased prices of goods and services. There is asked in any interview, if you go, you fail this interview, they will ask you, why do wage increases cause inflation? Why do wage increases cause inflation? So why there is increase in inflation due to wage hike? You can tell wage increases cause inflation. Wage increases cause inflation. No doubt it's true, because the cost of producing goods and services goes up as company pay their employees more. Companies must charge more for their goods and services to maintain the same level of profitability to make up for the increase in the cost. The increase in the prices of goods and services is inflation. So what is inflation target? Inflation target. Government typically set an inflation target. What is approximately that is inflation target? 2% in a year in the US. And in our country, it is also below 4%. An inflation target allows businesses and individuals to budget for the future. It provides an indicator for companies on how much to pay their employees and how much to charge their goods and services. It indicates to individual how much goods and services will cost. Inflation impact the value of money. We all know that inflation and value of money both are related. Inflation reduction, the future value of current money. Inflation reduction, the future value of current money. The value of a dollar today is worth less than it will be in the future because prices go up. The same dollar today will be able to buy fewer goods and services in future years. Money is always worth more now than it is the future, particularly due to investment capability of money. Employers are forced to respond when government orders wage increases for the workers. They require more income to comfortably accommodate those extra wages, so that they tend to increase the pricing of their product and services. This is not just a result of legislation. Companies can voluntarily decide to pay their employer more for several reasons. Number one, look here, the case study of US. The District of Columbia has the top minimum wage of $17 an hour as of January 2024. Look here, for 1 hour, $17. Most of your students who go to Columbia for a study, they have a work permit, and he will go in any shop and work 2 hours, and he will get 17 plus into 2, $34 for 2 hours. Look here, $1 is equal to 80 rupees about fluctuation. And so $17 for 1 hour, 17 into 80, and 2 hours, then 17 plus 70. Then, so, and a company must pay its employee $20 if a state raises the minimum wage from 15 to $20 as occurred in 2024, when 22 states increased their minimum wage in January. Now its cost of producing its goods and services has gone up because of this cost of labor now expensive. Wage push inflation has an inflationary spiral effect. Economics track wages closely because of their wage push inflation effect. Wage push inflation has an inflationary spiral effect that occurs when wages are increased and business must charge more for their product and services to pay the higher wages. Any wage increase that occurs will also increase the money supply of the consumer. Consumers have more spending power with a higher money supply, so the demand for goods increases. An increase in demand then increases price of goods in the broader market. Companies charge more for their goods to pay higher wages, and higher wages also increases the price of goods in the broader market. What are the factors responsible for wage push inflation effect? Industry factors also play in driving wage increases. Companies might raise wages to attract talent or provide higher compensation for their workers as an incentive to help business growth if a specific industry were to grow rapidly. All such factors have a wage push inflation effect on the goods and services the company provides. The wage increase is not helpful to employees as the cost of goods and services rises at the companies that are paying higher wages and in the broader market overall, because of the cost of goods in the market has also risen. Workers eventually require another wage increase to compensate for the cost of living increase if prices remain high. The percentage increase in wages and prices and their overall effect on the market are key factors driving inflation in the economy. So we all know that the supply curve is upward sloping, demand curve is downward sloping. An intersection will give you the equilibrium price. Supply side has also cost side, and cost side has a prime factor wage. What is the cost? Wage, rent, wage, interest, and profit. So if other things remaining the same, only wage increases, then supply curve will shift leftward, upward, leftward, and thereby price will increase. And this becomes wage prices spiral, that wage prices spiral, again wage converted to price rise. So this will go on, the economy will go on with this case. So it is very interesting topic, wage push inflation, which is also a part of it is also a part of cost push inflation, because wage is also one of the factors of cost. At present in Bihar, there is large number of vacancies for lecturer in economics. And most of the students who have degree, first class degree, gold medal degree, and they are to face. And therefore, I am every day giving 1 or 2 class so that they will be capable of living in the remote village. The internet is everywhere and he can read this, and if any problem he can comment it. I can again give the answer. So wage push inflation is an overall rise in the cost of goods and services that results from the rise in wages. Companies can increase wages companies can increase wages for several reasons. The most common most common most common is an increase in the minimum wage in the increase in the increase in the minimum wage. The federal and state government federal, central, and state state governments have the power. State governments have the power to increase minimum wage. Have the power power to increase minimum wage to increase minimum wage. Minimum wage to increase minimum wage. Consumer goods companies are also known for making or also known for making incremental wages, making incremental making incremental wages. Consumer goods companies are also known for making incremental wages, making incremental wages increases for their worker, for their worker. These minimum wage increases these these minimum these minimum wage increases these minimum wage increases are a leading factor. Increases are a leading are a leading factor for wage push. For wage push inflation. Wage push inflation. It is highly prevalent. It is highly highly prevalent. It is highly prevalent with consumer. Consumer goods companies, especially. It its effect its effects. Its effect is a its effect is a function of the of the percentage increase in wage, percentage increase in wages. Wage push inflation is an overall rise is an overall rise is an is an overall rise in the cost, rise in the rise in the cost of goods, cost of cost of goods, services that that results from a rise from a rise in wages, employers must increase employers must must increase the prices they charge, prices they charge, prices they charge for goods, prices they charge for goods and services. Services to maintain corporate to to maintain to maintain corporate to maintain corporate corporate maintain corporate profits. To maintain corporate profits after an increase in employee pay. An increase in थोड़ा सा घबरा के thank you. The overall increased cost of goods the overall increased the overall increased cost of goods and services has a circular effect so, circular effect on the wage increase. Higher wages will will eventually have to have to compensate compensate for the increased price for the increased prices of consumer. consumer goods, consumer goods, increase price of consumer goods, as goods and services, goods and services in the market, in the in the in the market overall, overall increase wage and salary in the wages and salary in the US, in the USA increased by 0.8% during 1 year ending, during 1 year ending in, in September, according according the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. Features of wage push Features of wage push inflation. Number one, wage push inflation inflation is an is an overall rise in the cost of goods that that results from a rise in wages. Number two, employers must increase employers employers must increase the prices the prices must increase the prices they charge prices they charge for the goods and services for the goods and services they provide. Char- Charge for the employers must increase the prices they charge for the goods and services they provide to maintain profit after profits after and increase in after increase in increase in wages. Number three, the increase in wages increase in wages and and the the resulting increase in prices create create a circular effect on wages. Number four, higher wages higher wages are then necessary are then necessary to compen- compensate for the increased prices for the increased prices of goods and services of goods and services. Why do wage increases cause inflation? Why do wage increases cause inflation? Wage increases cause inflation. Cause inflation, because the cost of producing goods and services goes up, services goes up as companies pay as companies pay their employees their their employees more. Companies pay their employees wage increases cause inflation because the cost of producing goods and services goes up as companies pay their employees more. Company must charge must charge more for their goods for their goods and services. Goods and services, to maintain, to maintain the same level, maintain the same level of profit, profit, profitability to make up to make up for in the increase, make up make up for the increase, make up for the increase in cost, the increase in the prices, the increase in the increase in the prices of goods and services. prices of goods and services. Prices of goods and services is inflation. The increase in the prices of goods and services is the increase in the prices of goods and services is inflation. Inflation target. Government typically governments typically set an inflation, set an inflation target, which is which is approximately 2% in a year in the US. In most of the nations, 4% on an average is considered as golden rate of inflation. And inflation target allows businesses businesses allow businesses and individuals to budget for the future. An inflation target allows business individuals to budget for the future. It provides an indicator. It provides an indicator for companies or or companies company on how much to pay, how much to pay their employees, their their employees, right? And how much to charge, and how much to charge, how much to charge for their goods and services, or their goods and services. It indicates it indicates to individuals to individuals. It indicates to individuals how much goods, how much goods and services will cost. Indicates to individual how much goods and services will cost. Inflation impact, inflation impact, inflation impact the value of inflation reduction. Inflation reduction. Inflation reduction. The value, the future value, inflation leads to a reduction in the future value of current money. Inflation leads to reduction in the future value, future value of current money. The value of the value of a dollar, value of a dollar today worth less, worth less than worth less than it will be in the future because prices go up. The same dollar today will be able will be able to buy, will be able to buy fewer goods and services. in future years. Future years. Future service, civil service, and future in future years. Money is always worth. Money is always. Money is always worth more. Worth more. Now than it is. Than it is the future. Particularly due to the investment, due to the investment capability of money. Investment capability of money. Particularly due to the investment capability of money. Employers are forced to to respond when governments order, when when governments order governments order wage increases for their workers, or their workers. They require more income. They require more income to comfortably comfortably accommodate accommodate those extra wages, extra wages. So they tend to increase wages. So they tend to increase. So they tend to increase the pricing of their product, of their pricing of their products and services. This is not just this is not not just this is not just the not just the result of legislation. Company can voluntarily decide to pay their employer, pay their employers, pay their employers more for several reasons. More for several reasons. Number one, the District of Columbia, the District of Columbia has the has the top minimum wage of $17 an hour. As of January 1, 2024. Number 2, a company must pay a company must pay its employee its employee if a state raises if a state raises the minimum wage, raises the minimum raises the minimum minimum the state raises the minimum wage from $15 to $20 minimum wage per hour. As occurred in 2024 when when 22 states of the USA increased their minimum wages in January. January. Now its cost. Now its cost of producing its its goods and services has gone up, has gone up because its cost of labor, that is wages, is now expensive, expensive, which push inflation in the USA. Increased inflation rate and it is called, it's called increased inflation rate. Inflation in the USA, inflation in the USA, rate was inflation rate. Thus, we conclude that wage inflation is a regular phenomenon. And if you increase wage, it will lead to price rise. And when price rise becomes more and more a spiral, then again workers will force to increase wage. And so there is a need to follow the minimum wage rule. And minimum wage should be of optimal size. Think in our economy at present, non-governmental data, I am telling you, that any laborer, Raj Mazdoor, they work in the construction of house, they charge 600 rupees, labor will charge 600 in Bihar and in other parts also. You just consult your data that what is the minimum rate of government of unskilled labor, semi-skilled labor, and skilled labor. You find out and then compare that in the actual market, 600 rupees minimum price, minimum wage rate is in town. Any type of physical work like carrying on your head bricks, cement bags, sands. They also put sands in a bag and then carry it on their head. If it is in first floor, ground floor, it will be 6 rupees. But if you use for fourth floor, and there is no mechanical device, then physical labor will go on steps and will charge you 800 rupees, even 1000 rupees in case of need. So there must be reasonable minimum wage. You think in the USA, for 1 hour, it was 15 rupees when I visited few years back. 15, 14 rupees, 16 rupees. At present, I have seen that it has increased from 15 to 20 per hour. Students go USA, Canada, and Australia. They are allowed to work in shop, in any grocery center, in any ice cream parlor, 2 hours, 3 hours, in a hotel or on the post of hotel staff, any type of work which you like. And in most of the hotels, morning hour, free meal, free breakfast is given. Everyone eat. 100, 200 people are eating, is the number of 5-star hotels. And there are so many smart boys and girls, well dressed, speaking English, Spanish, French, and they will offer you that this is coffee, this is burger, this is that thing, and help you to eat. Even go and find you fruits, juice. But what I saw in Poland and all in Germany, in the Netherlands, that every day in Canada, every day in the hotel, change of this type of workers. When I talk to them that what is your qualification, they say that I'm medical student, I'm engineering student, I'm a student in finance, I'm a student in any uh, stream, but I have 3 hours uh, work permit. So I can work 3 hours in any hotel, but not more than 3 hours. And after 3 hours work, he will be paid daily or weekly as you wish. Their payment is generally fortnightly. After going abroad, what I find that it will take many years in our country to change from this position to that position. And the main function, the main problem is the size of the population. In Canada, there is only 3.5 crore people. In USA, only 33 crore people. But in China and in India, China is a communist country where many things are compulsory. But in India, it is a democratic country. And 142 crore people. This requires a foolproof manpower planning, along with technical advancement, invention, innovation, and AI and ChatGPT and uh, artificial intelligence, and using robots. If you replace all manpower, then what will happen? In my classroom, just say 10, 15 years back, when first time uh, swapping card and getting money from the ATM. So most of the ATM was installed in Patna and other districts and even the rural west districts. Then in the classroom I said that if unemployment increases and grew at a faster rate, then we require a credit card or any card to get swap and get the money withdrawal from the ATM. But those who are physically powerful and mentally mature and education is less, physical fitness is more, they will take out ATM from the place to the rural areas in the field where they will tear it and by mechanical device and then they will loot our money. The students laughed that is it possible? It was, and we have seen there are cases in Bihar and other states that criminals not only taken money from the ATM, rather they have a broken ATM from lower side and take it on their vehicle onto the rural area and any distance area where they know how to cut iron sheet. They are taught from the YouTube also that how can you cut the iron and then they get the money back. So there is always need to think about the developed countries rate because it is always visible on television and YouTube. That's what the per hour charge. Per hour charge for the worker is now in 2024, it has increased to $20 per hour. Think if 80 rupees per hour, 80 rupees, and here you give whole day work and 600 rupees. 600 rupees give you for the 8 hours. And you have to give at the rate of this 20 hours, $20 per hour. In our Indian case, calculate it that how much workers will get. If that rate is being paid to them, they would not need free V from the government or any political party. That will be enough for their maintenance. You will say that this will lead to inflation. Inflation is not caused only by wages. Inflation is caused by also taxation. Inflation is a type of tax. I have written this in a previous classes. And it was said by John Maynard Keynes. And now it is found out. In COVID period, large amount of money were given free of cost. In USA, all employees are outside the factory, but they received $3,000 per day, per month in their account. $3,000, $3,000 to $4,000, the clerk can receive. All pilots are unemployed at that time. They are not debarred from job. They got their salary every month. So money printed, government printed money, RBI, Federal Reserve System, printed money and given to them. This has increased inflation rate so high that in the election of Biden, opposition party said widen inflation. They call inflation as widen inflation. Ruined us. And that is why we are talking about wage push inflation. Our wage push inflation may lead to increase in price. But that does not mean that their wage should be so minimum level that that is mockery of giving wage. If they cannot afford one day meal for all members of the family. That's all. So again, I say you that like it, subscribe it, and share this video to your friends. Share this video to your friends. This will also increase the usage of the material which we teach. And at least take a time to write one line comment. Thanks, sir. I liked your video. One line. That's what teachers expect that you should follow. That's all.